Okay, so we just did independent reader for fiction books. We're going to do some that are nonfiction or historical fiction. First two I'm going to start with. One is called the Royal Diaries series. One is the Dear America series. There's multiple authors, but these ones are about historical princesses. And so, like I said, the information is sometimes accurate, but sometimes they like to smush events together, or they'll give a real person a personality that doesn't match up historically, but they're very entertaining. They usually follow the girls' just day-to-day lives, like what they're eating, what they're doing, who their friends are. At the end, if you want to fact check them, you can go to the back, and they have a big old spot that has like the life in France for this one, because that's where this one takes place. And it goes through like what was actually happening. It can give them like the family tree for the people that really existed. The part that I always find the most heartbreaking is when they give you the cast of characters, and the characters with asterisks are the people that didn't actually exist. Sometimes those are my favorite characters in the book. They help you with world history a lot. They always tell you what date it is. They always tell you where it takes place. These are also upper elementary. The Dear America books are also upper elementary. These follow common people throughout the world during big historical events. This one is the Mayflower. There's other ones like the Spanish influenza. They have them for the World Wars. They have them for girls and for boys. Canada also has a version called Dear Canada. I would imagine in a couple years we're going to have a Dear America that takes place during this time period. That would not surprise me. These characters are, I believe, almost always fictional, or if they're based on a real person, it's kind of loose. They're pretty tragic. Expect a lot of death. They're not usually with the characters that you grow attached to, but they just they'll mention casually that they've been to a funeral, or that someone wandered away from the Oregon train and got eaten. A lot of the events and the people are real, but not always 100% accurate information. Okay, so also historical fiction, but based on society at the time, I guess. These are the American Girl series. They follow a bunch of different girls, bunch of different time periods. So this one is pretty awesome for Lewiston because it follows a Nez Perce tribe girl. And so that's really cool. This one's about Kaya and her life in the Nez Perce tribe. Like it says at the top, this takes place in 1764. There's others. One is Samantha, follows a girl in, I believe, the Industrial Revolution. Molly is a girl in World War II. In the back of these ones also, they have the real events. They show you like Kamiah, Idaho. All of them have originally gone with the dolls. Sometimes the dolls have been retired, but the stories are still open. There's always 6 books in a series, but then usually the American Girl doll has a friend with her, and sometimes the friend also has some books. These ones sort of go together. It's the I Survive series and then the 10 True Tales series. This one happens to be about surviving sharks and other dangerous creatures. Some of them are child spies. Some of them are like the Vietnam War. I believe one is 9/11, but they're very good. Very interesting. The information is real. It's accurate information, but some of the details might not be 100%. These would be like rated PG for peril, I suppose, because like there's kids getting bitten by sharks or kids who are spying, and sometimes they get caught and bad things happen to them. So they can be a little intense. Alan Zulo is a great author, though. He has written a bunch of different books. Highly recommend them. The I Survive series, these ones are fictional, but in the back they tell you about the real events. So this one is my favorite. This one is about the shark attacks of 1916. Others are Hurricane Katrina, the Japanese tsunami. They just take place in big events in history. Again with real, but sometimes some of the details are a little interesting, is the I Am series and also Who Was. So they have like I Am Albert Einstein. They also have Who Was Albert Einstein. Different series, same information. They just give you an account of the person's lives told in a manner that's easier for younger children to read. They have George Lucas. They have Milton Hershey. I believe they also have figures who are not always just considered historical, but like people in the entertainment industry. There is a lot of these. They go through the story. They tell you all about it. With these books, I never say that they're 100% accurate because they like to just sort of gloss over certain parts. The main cusp of the information is right. These books are the Horrible History series, and they are British, so most of the information is told from Britain's perspective. So they have ones on like World War I, World War II, and you'll get a lot of more of the Britain side of that than you would get of America. They're great. They're hilarious. Again, more in the PG range because, as it says, it's horrible history. Terry Deary doesn't pull punches. They're kind of tricky to find because they're British. Usually school libraries will have these, so they're kind of tricky right now. This one goes through the Romans. There's the Victorians. There's the Tudors. There is Egyptians, Vikings. They give really good information. They give really accurate information. They're quite funny. What Terry Deary likes to do is he likes to take a serious event and make it into a skit or a play. He'll have things like this where they're like fake diaries of events. He'll go through and he'll give you little things like he'll give you the scenario, he'll give you 3 options, and then at the end of them he tells you what the real thing is and also what happened because that happened. He lets you know the cause and effect of a lot of great events. Horrible histories are very funny. Again, harder to find and told from the British perspective. So these are the DK Eyewitness books. They go through a bunch of different things, like this one is dog, there's armor, there's battle. They go through almost all the animals. They go through pretty much anything in science, so chemistry. They go through sports. They have Olympics. They have baseball. They have costume. They have treasure. Anything of interest, really, there's a DK book. Be warned, most of them are fine, but there's almost always one picture that just needs a post-it note over it. Usually they need a post over because it's a classical art picture. So what I really like about the layout of these books is they have a bunch of pictures and then each of the pictures have a caption. So there's usually an overview of what the page is about, but then the really interesting tidbits are hidden in all these different little boxes. And so it just goes through. There's always a gradual progression of thoughts. The only issue with these books right now is that most of them were written in 1996. Some of the information is getting a little outdated. Usually it's all pretty accurate, but I have one called Technology, and they had really good hopes for us. If we were living in the DK Eyewitness future, we'd all have robotic pets apparently, and everything would be cured. As we're still inside, it's not the future we got. DK Eyewitness books are very interesting. There's a lot of them. Every library on Earth has at least one of them. No matter what science, historical, sport, anything in the Dewey Decimal System you're interested in, there's a DK book for you. Those are the independent reader, nonfiction, or historical fiction where the events or the people are real, but some of the details are a little fudged. Enjoy. Have a good time.